Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we're going back to the 1980s as we take a look at Adventures in Babysitting starring Elizabeth Shue. And if you are enjoying these episodes, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering Adventures in Babysitting. This movie was released on July 3rd, 1987. It was directed by Chris Columbus. The screenplay was written by David Simpkins. The production companies were Touchstone Pictures, Silver Screen Partners, and Rose Production. And it was distributed by Buena Vista Distribution. And the box office for this movie was $34.4 million. But let's take a look at the backstory. When writer David Simpkins was working on a screenplay for New World Pictures, he would read a copy of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he would be inspired to do a teen film of his own. His script was originally titled After Hours, and it told the stories of a series of misadventures involving a babysitter that was set over a period of time. New World Pictures would pass on the project, but Simpkins would sell the script to Paramount as a backup. So in terms of Chris Columbus directing, this would be his directorial debut, and the film is now titled Adventures in Babysitting, and he was comfortable with this film because it could be filmed on such a small scale. Paramount would have the first right of refusal for the movie, but they were insisting that Molly Ringwald be cast in the lead role. They ultimately would pass on the project when that did not happen. Touchstone Pictures was the next one, and they would agree to make the film after receiving $300 million in financing from Silver Screen Pictures. The casting process was done over a long period of time, and they would actually end up seeing 150 actresses for the lead role. Columbus would ultimately cast Elizabeth Shue, who actually was a student at Harvard at the time. The movie would be filmed in Toronto starting on January 5th, 1987, and they would do some location shooting in Chicago as well. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have Elizabeth Shue, who plays Christina Parker, Keith Coogan, who plays Brad Anderson, Anthony Rapp, who plays Daryl Coppersmith, Maya Brenton, who plays Sarah Anderson, Penelope Ann Miller, who plays Brenda, Bradley Whitford, who plays Mike Towell, Calvin Lewis, who plays Joe Gipp, and George Newbern, who plays Dan Lynch. In terms of the plot, Chris Parker agrees to babysit after her boyfriend Mike Todwell stands her up on their date to the romantic French restaurant. Expecting a dull evening, she settles down with her 3 kids for a night of TV and boredom. But when her frantic friend Brenda calls and pleads to be rescued from the bus station in downtown Chicago, the evening soon explodes into an endless whirl of hair-raising situations. Chris and the kids leave their safe suburban surroundings and head for the heart of the big city, and imagining how terrifyingly funny their expedition will become. So in terms of the legacy of the project, in 2015, Internet Records would release a soundtrack of the film featuring the score of Michael Carmen, along with several songs that were used in the film. And speaking of the soundtrack, in 2021, Elizabeth Shue would do an interview where she would say, for New York Magazine, she did this interview, saying that her singing of Babysitter Blues was one of her favorite experiences in her career. In 1989, after the success of the movie, a TV series was proposed for CBS, and they actually filmed a pilot. And the pilot was broadcast on Friday, July 7th, 1989 at 8 p.m. And the cast of the pilot featured Joey Lawrence and Brian Austin Green. Joey Lawrence would go on to feature fame and blossom, and Brian Austin Green as the future in Beverly Hills 90210. Ultimately, the pilot would not get picked up, however. So would I recommend this movie? I think this movie is incredibly simple, but it's also incredibly entertaining. It's a simple premise with the babysitter and 3 kids, and then they go into these series of misadventures. The performance from Elizabeth Shue is really great, and this is one of those family-friendly comedies that the whole family can enjoy, and it's kind of one that has humor for all types of situations and all different members of the family. So definitely recommend this one. It's kind of one of those classic teen comedies, but it's also good for kind of those pre-teens as well, members of the family. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would love for anyone to please leave a comment on what they think of Adventures in Babysitting. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going into the direction of a serious drama as we take a look at LA Confidential. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.